In our last segment, we learned how LP SmartSide is a great choice for homeowners looking for the natural look of cedar siding without all the maintenance. Now let's continue with Andy Lindis from Lindis Construction, who explains the attention to detail his company provides when re-siding a home. Okay, Andy, now let's take some time and talk about the installation process for the LP SmartSide these homeowners selected.
You know, this is where the real attention to detail happens, where the water and air infiltration starts. Now, you can feel the different ribs on the house rat that we've chosen for this project. You know how LP SmartSide sits tight against the wall? Sure. Should water get behind that siding at all, it would end up sitting there on a normal house wrap. With this house wrap, it gives you a channel everywhere along the wall where water can drain out and stay in front of the sheathing.
You know, it really does feel unlike any other house wrap I've ever rubbed my hand across. And it's a pretty unlikely event that that water's ever going to get behind the siding. But if it does, you've taken that added precaution so you're never going to have to worry about, the homeowner's never going to have to worry about water behind there?
Yeah, when you're talking about weatherproofing somebody's house and for long-term advantages, you want to make sure that checks and balances are in place. You know, it's really unlikely, especially on this type of house, that water is going to get behind that siding. But what if? What if is what we want to ask ourselves. We want to make sure that if it happens, no damage can occur.
And being that it is unlike any other underlayment, is it more difficult for you and your guys to work with?
Yeah, it definitely does take longer to go up on the wall. It's harder to cut, but for long-term advantages, I really see no other option.
And you know, we're talking about long-term performance. We're talking ultimately about peace of mind for the homeowner. So a homeowner watching, these are the types of details, the types of products you should be aware of in the bids, because this might elevate it a little bit, but the results are going to be second to none. You're never going to have to worry about an inferior product that's behind your siding.
Yeah, you want to look at not only are you comparing apples to apples on the finished product that's going on in your house, but apples to apples, what's going on before the siding, not just the house wrap. You want to talk about the proper kick-out flashings, the proper corner posts, the proper electrical boxes that they're going to put in, any type of perforation on your actual wall itself, what's going to be done to make sure that you have no water or air infiltration there, and the finishing around windows and doors. You want to make sure that they're using the proper window tape. If you're not doing that, you're leaving yourself susceptible to wind and water getting inside your home.
Sure, and to me, when we talk about being an educated consumer, it's about those products. It's about the end products, and it's about understanding the experience of the contractor you're dealing with, because you need an experienced contractor to do the job right.
There's just as much detail, if not more, going into what goes on before the siding than what goes on with the siding. Now, if you like, we can step around. I can show you how we actually finish a wall off. Now, when it comes to installation, one of the things that I really like about the LP SmartSide is that it's blind nailed. So it gives us a nice tight fit on the wall, and most importantly, all of our fasteners are hidden, means less touch-up paint and less chances for water or air to infiltrate the product.
And you're right, it gives a very nice clean appearance. You don't have to worry about any of that touch-up, and the term is metamerism. If you come and touch it up, the sheen is just a little bit different, and you want to avoid that as a homeowner, that's for sure.
Exactly. For a finished product, you want to make sure everything is all uniform and matching.
What are these little pieces of equipment?
These are little tools that we use so we get the proper reveal on our siding. Makes it nice and slick.
Oh, that's slick.
Just sits in here. We use just a normal speed square to get our spacing system in there. Gives us the nice spacer. Now with the LP, over time, it will swell and it won't contract, so this seam will go away. And what we've done that's different than some of the other installers is our slip sheet is actually a piece of color-matched aluminum, so it really does blend in when you stand back and look at it from the wall.
Boy, I like that. If you lift that up, you can really see what you're talking about, because a lot of companies will use just a piece of tar paper and they slip it in back there. I like this because there is a slight gap there. You're never even going to notice.
It's going to last forever, and it's really going to make the house look nice. Now the final step to really finish off the LP Smart Side is the caulking, and we use the OSI quad caulking color match to this diamond coat finish.
Boy, you know, when you stand back and look, you can't even see the caulking there because of that color matching. It's incredible, the technology nowadays.
Yep, and our installation technician did an awesome job making sure that there are no bubbles. It all blends in real nicely. Again, this is something that we train on a regular basis. This is one of the detail things you can make really look bad if you don't know what you're doing. The last thing you want to see is bubbles in the actual caulking.
You know, another area is around the different penetrations in the siding itself. That's a nice clean install.
We got custom light blocks, custom electrical blocks, custom blocks that go over plumbing fixtures, the dryer vents. These are things that finish off your house. And if you're not using the proper materials or the proper techniques, they're really going to stand out and make a good siding job look bad.
You know, Andy, it just speaks volumes to attention to detail. That is what makes the end result really shine.
From the underlayment to putting the finishing touches with the caulking, attention to detail is where it's at.